This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming Montana Safety Council. Think safe. Live safe.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And a good afternoon, Larry Peroletti, along with Sonny Boy across the way, Nick Peroletti. We bring you Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. The Wyoming Montana Safety Council at 635-4592. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Suite D in the Greenway Commons across the street. It's First Tier Bank, Monday through Friday. See Tim and the great staff over there. Hey, talk to them about their CD rates with great APYs right now. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the main repair center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. My good friend Gene and his great staff, they're over there to take care of all of your doctor's prescriptions. See them today, Bluegrass Circle, right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. You'll find the original location on Vanda High and, of course, the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Kia Cheyenne on Nation Way, where AJ and Greg, the Millers, invite you to come on by, test drive one of their good-looking automobiles. They, the 18s got to go, 19s are on the way. So check out some special deals going on right now at Kia of Cheyenne. Chick-fil-A, serving up breakfast 6 days a week in addition to their great lunches and dinners. Check out Chick-fil-A, corner Windmill and Delrange, right across from Menards. And again, convenient drive-thrus for you over at Chick-fil-A. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service closing them out, so here's a great time to save on some Jayco products, whether it's an RV, fifth wheel, and you still can do some traveling before the season comes to an end. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. And last but not least, we thank Taco John's, home of the loaded potato olays. You have your 6-pack and a pound. Don't forget, tomorrow it's Taco Tuesday, or again, for a limited time, the sirloin steak burritos. Whether you do it for breakfast, whether you do it for lunch, they are there at Taco John's. And we get the program always started off. Matter of fact, we're going to be starting off with Friday Night Lights again, coming up here on Friday night. And our scoreboards, whether it's football, hoops, or Wyoming Sports Talk Today, is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick, who has...
I got Bupkis. Unless we can just remind folks that, again, we will have Week 0 football action coming up this Friday here on 1480 K-Ray between Thunder Basin and Cheyenne Central. It is the inaugural game of head coach Micah Apodaca over there at Central High. So looking forward to that. At least we did talk with Chad Whitworth. It was announced earlier that it was a 6 o'clock game. Unfortunately, they did move that back to 7 o'clock. So, again, pregame here on 1480 K-Ray. About 6:30-ish is when we're looking to get underway. And, again, 7 o'clock will be kickoff over that risky field.
Matter of fact, mentioned, too, the other announcement also was against KW. That will also be moved back to 7 o'clock as well.
Yeah.
So, again, if you had 6 o'clock for Central and those two squads, Thunder Basin, KW, those will be 7 o'clock kickoffs. All right,
I do have another score as well, too, from yesterday, a game that we were at yesterday down in Colorado Springs with the Sky Sox. We did see AAA baseball. Looks like we got Wayne in studio. He's trying to flag you down. But Colorado Springs Sky Sox down there in the Springs, they won over Omaha. The Storm Chasers 17-5, a home run derby that we saw, but we will talk about that later in today's show. You can see, especially on Periscope and YouTube, I'm a little red, a little burnt from it. You got a little sun action from last night, or at least from yesterday afternoon. But
I got more Italian in me than you. I can absorb
good for you.
Better.
Anyway, so that's what I got on the scoreboard. How about you?
All right, our scoreboard here, Major League Baseball. Here's what's going to be happening when we get off the air. Orioles at the Blue Jays. Rockies with the night off after sweeping 4 from the Bravos. Speaking of the Braves, they're at Pittsburgh to take on the Bucks at PNC. Indians and the Bo Sox at Fenway. White Sox will match up against the Twins at Target Field. Giants and the Mets, who cares, at Citi Field. Royals and the Rays at Tropicana Field. 6 o'clock games, we have the Reds at the Brewers. Rangers and the Athletics in the Oco tonight. Astros will move on to face the M's at Safeco. And the late nighter tonight in Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, hosting St. Louis. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a 6-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's Olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
The governor's job is to manage state finances, understand all of Wyoming, and work with the people to get things done. How do you choose who to vote for? The candidates are all pretty conservative. What separates us? Experience. I've delivered results in my community, in business, and in our government. Now I want to put that experience to work for you from day one. And I would very much appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Paid for by Friends of Mark Gordon. Republican Senator Al Simpson.
Hi, this is Al Simpson. Electing our own office holders is one of our most precious freedoms, so don't be deceived by outside billionaires telling you how to vote. Come down on the side of Mark Gordon. I've known Mark most of his life. He's a rancher, small business guy, plus he's made a real difference in Cheyenne as our state treasurer. Most of all, Mark Gordon is the genuine article. Mark is going to be a great governor.
Paid for by Friends of Mark Gordon.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 72, partly to mostly cloudy for tonight, with our low dropping down to 46 degrees and a slight chance of showers developing after midnight. A chance for showers in the morning, then a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy for your Tuesday. Expect a daytime high of 72, and for Tuesday night, mostly cloudy, with a chance for showers and thunder boomers. Our low down to 51.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perlani. along with Nick Proetti. And our first guest is Mark Webb, the athletic director at Cheyenne South. Of course, we'll catch up with Mark throughout the course of the football season as we will do our athletic director's report. But it's nice always to get the ADs in. And, again,
in which I put out the call to both Jerry and Chad as well, too, with Central and East, and we're working on trying to get them in.
Well, what I was saying is the athletic directors get the shortest of the vacation season as opposed to instructors, even though I know some of the instructors have been popping in and out, but ADs are already working because you got fall sports that kicked off here like last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we kicked off the fall with football, tennis, and golf on the 6th, and then last week we started with volleyball, cross country, and girls swimming. So, yeah, we're already off and going here.
So let's talk about some of the programs. First, let's talk about football. And again, I know you're speaking on behalf of Coach Gallus, but the turnout this year, again, the feeder school is Johnson. You lost some good veterans, seniors, and again, some of the classes, the junior and senior, the sophomore and junior classes that are now a year older. But let's talk about the turnout of football this year.
Our numbers are a little bit higher than what they were last year, which is always a good thing. You know, football is a numbers sport. I think I told you that last year and in the past. If you give me, basketball, you give me 8 good players and I got a decent rotation. You give me 8 good football players and I don't have an offense. So that's like the sport. Soccer is the same. All those sports, you just want to get the numbers up in. Our numbers are a little bit higher. I was told we have this a day called Ignition Day coming up here on Wednesday where all the freshmen come on in for kind of a pre-school year orientation where they do activities and bonding and whatnot. And it's a pretty neat deal. And I was told that we're going to have over 400 incoming freshmen. So that's the kind of class that you want to try and sustain and keep those numbers out, and then we want to draw as many athletes out of that as possible. Talking football, we got about Jace Packard was very consistent as a lineman last year. He's going to be back. Austin White, good linebacker and offensive lineman, and then you got a kid like Trey Trimble. He is an all-around kid that good linebacker, D-end, that can play quarterback, played fullback for us last year. So those are the 3 kids in football that we're looking to continue on as upper-class leaders.
Not to go stray far away from football, but it's something that you mentioned, Mark, at least with Johnson Junior High, again, right across the street from Cheyenne South. Is that something you kind of see an advantage? Again, travel in Cheyenne is not terribly hard, but at least it's for those freshmen coming in, just a walk across the street to come see those athletics. Is that something that South and yourself have kind of embraced, at least, hey, freshmen coming in, come see these games for free, or come see these practices, how they're held, of what you're going to be expected here at the junior and varsity level? Is that something that kind of embrace for other sports at Cheyenne South?
Yeah, we'd like to, and as a matter of fact, you touched on something that we're going to be doing for them, being that, and that's something that we were talking before the broadcast, that being that our first game against Natrona this Friday, ours is at 6 o'clock. We're not changing it. Since it's going to be before school actually starts, we're going to go ahead and make sure that every one of those incoming freshmen has a coupon, certificate, whatever you want to call it, that them and their families they come in for free. They get a free drink with that coupon, and try to get as many of those, get some people in the stands since we're doing this before school year starts. And I think that'll help draw them in, and again, get them engaged in athletics and what we have to offer and some of the extracurricular things, and make it a natural tie-in for them before they even set foot in the door officially.
Now, with the triads in place, and again, Johnson, the Firebirds being the triad with Cheyenne South, and Coach Gallus comes in now, if I'm not mistaken, his third year as the head coach. Does he go across the street and chat with the Firebirds head coach, and do we try to do things similar in the junior high level as we prepare them for the varsity level across the street? As again, philosophy, offensively, defensively. Again, is the South plan in place at Johnson?
I don't think it's in place yet. I think it's in the way of getting fused in. You'd hope that you could get that in there. Yes, not only Coach Gallus, but all the coaches they do. I've asked them to make sure they make it a habit to just go across the street. Try to do it once a week. Get out in the cafeterias. Get and be seen so they can see you, so they know who you are. So it is more of a natural walk across the street when it comes time to it. You'd hope that you'd hope that at the varsity level, that's the master plan, and the JV has a slightly thinned out version. Freshman has a more thinned out version, and then you would love it if that transcended to the lower levels in the junior high and the feeder programs right there, that they could have. They don't need the whole book, just a few chapters. If nothing else, just at least if the terminology is the same, so the kids don't have to learn a new system every other year.
Are you? Let me finish that thought there. As you mentioned, about 400 freshmen going to get together for this Ignition Day. Numbers? Are you starting to see numbers pick up from the feeder?
Yes, that's the nice thing. In the last couple of years, we were trying to figure out if we would even be able to have a freshman.
Because development is starting to be, I'm looking out there, homes and property and stuff. You're starting to see more and more people move into that part of the world as well.
Yeah, and in the next decade, the south side of town is going to keep on growing. You see them putting the infrastructure is down there on the south side of town, so that's great for us. But yeah, it's something that you see this large class, and you want to try and get as many of them engaged as possible, not just in athletics, but in activities and school in general.
Absolutely. Now, for football, just kind of get your thoughts. You've probably been out there seeing a few practices so far up to week 0 for Cheyenne South, but just give your thoughts and opinions on this team going forward into at least this season. Again, competing with the likes of East, Central, especially where you look outside, at least throughout the rest of the state, Sheridan, Natrona, but Cheyenne South, how football-wise, what's kind of your opinion on this team? What are they going to be about throughout this season?
They're going to be about trying to run the ball and limit the mistakes. When you look at that one right there, that's what has been our when we've had some success in the past, that's what we did. When we haven't had the success, that's where you start to look at the problems right there. And I know it's kind of a textbook in coaching right there. Well, of course, that's what you need to do, but sometimes you just need to reiterate that fact that you got to keep the mistake. You can't beat yourself. Especially when you don't have the numbers, when you don't have the experience, when you don't have the tradition. You need to start from scratch and start with the simple things, control the things that you can control, and go from there.
You mentioned tradition, and again, and I think you even got in my case about that too, Nick, about how long's it got to take before we take off the moniker of it's still in an infant state. Yeah. I still believe that South is still in its infancy as far as, it hasn't been around, a decade even. So here's the deal that maybe it has been, it should be a decade now.
It's coming up on it.
Yeah, coming up on it. But my point is, though, there are some of the sports, whether it's fall, whether it's winter, springtime sports, that still don't have the numbers coming out. You as the athletic director, again, we need student athletes. They got to be students first before they're athletes. How do you, entice that potential student athlete to come on out for the golf team, the soccer team? How do you get them to come out there? Because a lot of folks, maybe athletics is not really what they want to do. They just want to get their schooling done, out of there.
Well, and that's just it. And you look at the reports. I had a report that I got from a university in Kansas somewhere that like 92% of high school kids that get in trouble with the law are not involved in any athletics or activities. And you think about that, and you start to realize that makes a lot of sense. If there's nothing that's holding you accountable, called a higher order or a team or a teammate or friends or coaches, if there's something that's not looking out for you, what's keeping you from getting in trouble? If you just live to get out of that building at 2:50 and at 2:51 you're down the road, why? What's keeping you in line? And I think athletics and activities are that big thing. Going back to the tradition and not even around for a decade, it takes time. It takes time for these things to solidify, and we're starting to show those signs, starting to see the numbers. Me as athletic director, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you who my athletic director was in high school, and I went to 2 schools, one down in Denver, one out in Western New York. Man, I couldn't tell you who my athletic director was at either of the schools 35 years ago. But and to this day, I don't want to be the person that's important in their lives. Their coaches are the ones that are important in their lives. They've got to be the front runners, and they've done a pretty good job of doing that. Not just, we've talked about Coach Gallis, but all the coaches. They try to get down to Johnson as much as possible. One of the initiatives we're trying to do here coming up in the next year, I think we want more camps being sponsored by our programs. You know, you look at just pick one. We do have multiple sports that have camps, but look at cheerleading. Kim Robert, she has 4 camps throughout the year. She has kids in that building all the time, and she won 2 of the 5 state championship levels this last year. It shows. I think she runs a great program, and she always has kids that are just knee-high all the way up to the high school level that are attending those camps. They get into the building, they see it, they see what a wonderful facility, and I think they want to continue that and come on in.
We're talking with Mark Puev, athletic director at Cheyenne South. Mark, let me ask you this question. I'm going to be blunt. I know we got the ever lovely word out these days, millennials, and how they act. And again, I'm probably a little bit older than you, but is it still cool to be in sports?
Are you asking me or are you asking the kids?
I'm asking, as you look at today's kids, is it still cool to be in sports?
I don't know if it's as cool as it was when you and I were younger. You know, I mean, that's the fact of the matter is I grew up in a household. I was first generation in this country. My dad, my freshman year, was the first year I played football, and I didn't find out till later in life that not only did he really not understand it, he didn't know anything about it. And at one of my first games, he was sitting in the crowd, and he did not know what was going on. Some of the other dads that knew him from me actually sat down with him and explained the game as it was occurring, what a first down was. They explained everything to him. And so it's not necessarily important that the parents understand the game, but they supported me. And that's what we kind of ask, is that we get the support and that we get the buy-in for both the student athlete and the parents to be all in and support the team, the school, the coaches, and everything else. So I don't know. It just seems like in today's day and age, sometimes kids feel that it's easier to quit or give up than just try a little harder. It seems like we are getting into an immediate gratification era, which we are trying to make sure that the kids understand. Listen, and at my parent meeting the other day, I told them, to the parents, this is going to be hard. It's not easy. It's not easy for the kids. It's not easy for the parents. It's not even easy for the coaches. But here's the thing. With hard work and determination, consistency, and you stick with it, you're going to see the dividends. Maybe not right now, maybe not immediately, but you're going to see it.
Well, has there ever been thoughts, though, again, we've seen with, at least we talk about tradition and at least being around in existence for Central and East, where they do have that kind of previous athletes, for instance, at East, where you could have a Tefis Bartlett who could come back and teach at least those upcoming freshmen or at least student athletes that are going, hey, you work hard at it, guess where I'm at? I'm here at the University of Washington. Or, again, a few other
special guest speakers that have been with the program.
But is that something that South, again, obviously don't really have a whole lot to take from, but is it something where you as an athletic director have kind of entertained of saying, hey, Bryce Meredith, you may have gone to Central, but come on over to South, maybe teach our wrestling kids of, we're all part of the Cheyenne community, but look what I did and what I'm achieving right now, or any other kind of big name from the state of Wyoming going, hey, come on to Cheyenne South, and let's show these kids hard work and determination, and look where I'm at right now.
Now, since we don't have that long-range tradition of success beyond high school athletics, we've talked about how to try and do it. We thought we were going to get the University of Wyoming to hold one of their spring scrimmages at our place, and at the last second it didn't happen because there was a funeral that the entire coaching staff had to be at, and so they had to kind of pull out of that. So we're hoping to get things like that, things that are in the front and center of in the state's eye. I mean, every kid here that plays football does look at the University of Wyoming and say, wow, that'd be neat someday. And to be able to get them or some of them down here, that would be pretty interesting. Our football coach has taken some kids up there just to see them train, see them work out, see how hard the conditions are and see what they go through. And I think that opens some eyes to our kids, saying to themselves, maybe I don't push myself as hard as I can or how I should.
Mark says something very, very poignant that before you asked your question, we were talking about today's kids and again, our generation. And I recall, and I've told Nick, obviously my parents were not around when Nick was born or his sister, but my parents, you would find them at every game, whether it was baseball or football. And even when I went through the college, they were driving, long distances to see their kid, whether I played or not.
Well, and you did the same thing as well.
Same thing, too, with your mother and myself, with you and your sister. We went great distances because in Wyoming you have to go long distances to watch games or participation. So I guess my thought is to you, Mark, as we look at today's parents. And again, unfortunately, homes are not total. There are some broken homes. Parents are working extra hard now to support families. how do you express to guardians, parents, hey, you need to be there for your sons, your daughters, because what they're doing are marvelous things in our programs? How do you get that expression out?
You know, I invite them to everything. We have like I said, we had the parent meeting, and I told them we'd love to see you at every single thing. I think they've seen that I do try to get to as many things as I possibly can. If we don't have something going on, I'm going to try to be there. If, especially when we get to regional and even more, especially state events, I try to get to every single state event I possibly can, just so that kids see, listen, I do care about you. I want to see you succeed, and I want to see you succeed at the highest level that you possibly can. And if it means that I will leave at 4:30 in the morning to drive up to Sheridan to watch state cross country for an hour and then turn around and come back, I've done that a couple times already. I will travel to see them. And you know what is great is when you see the parents there too. They come up and they say, well, hey, thanks for coming on out. And I've seen that. Not only that, but I've seen people from the other two schools even approach myself and the other two athletic directors when they see any one of us up there saying, hey, thanks for coming on up for Cheyenne. Like I said, not just me, but also to Jerry and Chad too when they go up to these events as well.
Well, and also too, and we need to take a break here, and hopefully we can keep you around for a little bit here.
Yep.
As we're talking with Mark Webb. I don't have a dog in the fight anymore. I mean, my children are all graduated, but you know what? As a local business owner, I'm out supporting South, Central, as well as East. Whether we are either in a broadcast mode or we're passing along announcements, I mean, that's our contribution to these programs. And again, I think it's very important that a parent or a guardian make a concerted effort, whether it's a home game, to get out there and just, wave a banner, buy a sweatshirt, or, cheer and just have a fun time. Because
and it's not even parents or guardians. It can also, too, just be sports fans in general of, hey, go out. Yeah.
If we have the only game in town at South High, come on out and see the Fighting Bison. May not win every game, but you know what? Hey, it's at least great entertainment for a couple hours. Let's take a timeout. We're going to be back again with Mark Webb, Athletic Director, South High, after these words right here at 1480 K-Ray.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Do you know what the citizens in District 5 want in a senator?
I'm Lynn Hutchings, and I've come to you to find out. The citizens have voiced their concerns about a state income tax and overspending in our budget. As a former legislator, I stood firmly against burdening you with additional taxes and voted against deficit spending. A vote for Lynn Hutchings will keep more of your money in your pocket.
Vote for Lynn Hutchings, your only fiscally conservative choice on August 21st. Paid for by Hutchings for Senate.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
I am Eric Crosby, and I am working to be your voice in the Cheyenne City Council. The city planners have added many rules on businesses that improve neither health nor safety, but reflect only preferences. This places a burden on companies' startup and operating costs. It is time to roll back regulations and make Cheyenne business-friendly again. Vote for Eric Crosby on August 21st, and I thank you for your support. Paid for by the committee to elect Eric Crosby.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame.
Let's play ball!
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Mark Webb's our guest here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're really glad. And again, talking more philosophy and getting a feel from the athletic director's standpoint of things going on out at Cheyenne South. Real quick, let's talk about your job as an athletic director in today's situations. And again, obviously everything's Title IX, got to have same men's sports along with women's sports. So you have to monitor every aspect. And I'm talking about from youngsters going to class, being in class, grades, this, that, and the other thing. I'm sure sometimes you just like bang your head against the wall. It's like it's just never ending.
Yeah, and back when I was a football coach, and you'd see something bad happen on the field in front of thousands of people, you'd sometimes look at the heavens and say, why do I love this game so much? It's the same thing with being an athletic director. You're more of a manager of everything, of the 17 different activities or the athletics that you have under your umbrella, and you look at some of the things that happen and you say, why? Why does that happen? Not necessarily to me, but why would someone or something like that happen? And, that's basically what it is there's the line at the bottom of a contract that you have that says, or other duties as assigned. That's kind of the same all-encompassing answer that goes with what you're doing as an athletic director. You find really quickly that you're a handyman, an electrician, and everything else that you possibly could be. To try and help the coaches and help the athletes out.
That's what I found out on my contract, at least here. Again, handyman, video production.
But also, too, you're almost like the go-between, because we had a little discussion off mic, and not going to go into details of the discussion, but you're also that mediator-type person, because if a parent of a youngster who feels they're not getting enough playing time, whatever, or, they're off the team for a certain reason or whatever, they're going to come. They're not going to go to the coach. They're going to come to the athletic director, and then you kind of have to sit there and say, "This is what happened. We need to do this, or let's get a discussion together and figure out something."
And for the first couple of years, that's the way it was. And I think what we're trying to do now is, we want our kids to. My principal, Mr. Phil Thompson, is a great person, and I'm not just saying this because we're on air, but he does a great job with. He's a former head basketball coach, so he gets it. He understands, and he wants all of our kids, not just students, but our athletes, or not just our student athletes, but our students as well. He wants everybody to advocate for themselves or learn how to do that. And I think that starts out with proper communication. And that's one thing that I've started to preach a lot more than I've asked our head coaches and the assistant coaches to kind of help me out with this, where we've kind of established more of a policy now where we want, we want all the coaches to be approachable. And, Mr. Thompson has said back when he was a coach, he was told that he wasn't that approachable because kids didn't feel comfortable about talking to him. And he would say, well, they need to kind of get over that, and they need to learn to come and talk to me. I'm not going to yell at a kid for coming and talk to me. And that's what I've asked for my coaches. If there is an issue, a kid needs to be able to feel free that they can talk to you about it. Now, I don't want you stopping practice to talk to a kid about a problem, but I want the kids to understand, and I've told all of them this, that you can come in before practice, with a given time, and talk to the coach about something, whatever it is, issues, concerns, and I've asked the coaches to be able to make time within the next 24 hours to address that. And so we've done that. And the steps of what you were talking about talking to the parents from my seat are this. One is if there's a problem, I want the kid and the coach to talk about it first. Have a meeting. If it's not resolved, then I want the athlete, the parent, and the head coach to meet. If it's not resolved, now those three plus me will get involved and we'll have a meeting. If that doesn't work, I will get my principal, Mr. Thompson, and he will join us. But at every juncture, I want the athlete there. And it's not just because here's the thing. 90% of the problems I've run into where I'm sitting is because of communication problems. Either the child didn't tell the parent, the coach didn't tell the parent, whatever it is. One of those three in the triangle didn't get the message or didn't convey the message properly, or part of the message was conveyed and the other was assumed. So now if you start involving everybody, again, they're now all accountable. Like I said, I've got great parents at our school. I love them to death. But like I said, if we're going to have a problem, let's make sure there's a reason for the problem. It's not because of poor communication.
You mentioned coaches, and I do want to mention a shifting of coach this year. Yep. And matter of fact, I saw him when I was doing the Otero basketball game because his son was coaching the ladies team.
Was it really a shift, or was it more ring around the rosy, or at least ring around the triad?
Well, yeah, the triad was all involved in this, but Coach Schaefer and his son was coaching Otero, and I know we had a nice discussion where I actually congratulated him on being a Hall of Famer, and again too, then he steps down after the basketball season. You had to find a replacement. I think you found a very suitable replacement in Jeff Bailey, who decided to leave the East program. So, and then Coach Schaefer heads over to Cheyenne Central. Explain that one. I'm a little dizzy on this here. I'm sure it wasn't a party of the ways. It was just a different venue.
Yeah, here's the thing, and that's the thing. People have asked me about that one. I'm good friends with Jim. I hung out with him this last week, and he just didn't want to sit in that head seat. And he felt it would be better for the next person to have their own program, for him not to be the quote-unquote old guy that's just sitting off to the side and still there. So he's still an assistant football coach, still an assistant track coach for us. I was up in Casper. I was there for his Hall of Fame induction. So, like I said, I completely support him as both a professional and a friend. It was time. He felt it was time for him to take that step. Coach Bailey came on over. He was the best candidate that we had, and I am thrilled to death that he was on that candidate list. Not only did he come over as the head basketball coach, but we were able to arrange it. The district was able to arrange it where he is now teaching in our building too. And I think that's really important in as many sports as you can, to get not only the head coaches, but as many of the coaches in the building that you can.
Let's move away from basketball since we're a few months away from that. Let's focus back on the fall sports, though, as we talked at least in depth about football, but let's talk about a few other fall sports that are happening at Cheyenne South. First off, let's start with volleyball. What's going on with South High in the volleyball program?
Well, Coach Myers got that team, I think, ready to go. They started last Monday. She's got, Kenzie Stensis, she's a returning starter, a senior, good backbone to everything we're doing. We had a couple of freshmen, Kylie Steele and Callista Martinez. They started as freshmen last year, so now they come back as sophomores. So I think we're returning 4 or 5 of our starters from last year, which for consistency and everything, that's really good. But I really think they're headed in the right direction right now. We were talking about infancy and whatnot. I think that within the next this year, next year, in this short future, I think we're starting to see that program come of age.
Are we seeing the programs fill up? Cross country, is underway at this time of year. Are we seeing the golf team starting to reach full with boys and girls? Also, too, with more fall sports tennis. I know a good tennis program over at Cheyenne South. I mean, how close are we to getting these things all filled up?
We're getting there. Like I said, that's a time issue right there. And, some people would be disappointed if I sat there and say, well, it's going to take the time until today's seniors and graduates for them to go through life, come back, get in the area, and their kids to come back, because their parents say, well, I went to South, and I want you going to South because I'm proud of South. We do have people that are proud of South because of where they are and where they live and where they want to be, but that's just a different type of pride that, Central and East have because they've gone through that rotation and in the cycle and in the time that they've been around. But I'm looking at our numbers, and I know we are getting, I don't want to say close to doubling, but we're getting a lot higher in our numbers for tennis and golf. And in golf, I know for a fact that a lot of our golfers are freshmen. Coach Haig does a great job. Again, he does a couple of camps out at Little America for us in the summertime, and he gets those little kids out there as well. Coach Cossett in tennis, Brandon Locke was a freshman 2 years ago and was the runner-up in the state, and then he went back up to Campbell County last year and defeated a senior who was the defending champion from Campbell County on his home court, which was just a delight to watch. And so he's coming back as a junior, and he's looking pretty strong. I think he's undefeated. I don't think he's lost a set yet this year, and it's going to be an exciting season for him.
The thing too, and Nick, I'll let you jump in on the next question here. As I look at South High, and it's always a joy to come out there, and again, the building always still smells new when you walk in there, but you as the athletic director and making the move to Cheyenne, a couple 3 years back, you sit here and you look at the facilities. You have to be very impressed that the maintenance of these facilities are still in great shape, and you're walking across the street to the Johnson junior high school, the Firebirds, and you're saying, you definitely want to do athletics over at Cheyenne South. You got the facilities.
Yeah, how anybody would walk into that facility and say, "Wow, I want to go somewhere else. This is not good." I don't know how that happens because your school is less than a decade old. It is still shiny and new, and the district does a great job of taking care of things. And when there has been a problem, there's been somebody on it really darn quick, and so I'm really happy and proud about that.
Especially from Johnson Junior High. Again, I have attended that school and I saw those facilities, and yeah, I would have loved to have gone to South. But anyway, so I want to key on a word that you've been mentioning, at least when we talked about the fall sports. Again, we can even introduce with girls basketball that we noticed from last season. It's young, it's youthful, it's teams that are going to have experience, not necessarily now. They're not going to probably win this year, but again, it's going to have that experience going forward into upcoming seasons. But for you as an athletic director, how does that translate to you, at least having that, knowing that these teams are young now, they're going to learn, they're going to develop into something that could be great in years' time? Is that something that you as an athletic director are very excited for, at least for the next 4 years or 3 years for Cheyenne South going forward?
I'm thrilled to death. I look at it and I want our coaches to do things the right way. I want these kids to leave high schools better human beings, better people, good citizens, better parents. Keep on going with that list. How many people really get to go on beyond high school with athletics? Well, some do. How many get to make it their living? Really few. So what are you going to take out of high school athletics and from these coaches? They're the life lessons that are going to make you better as a person. And when you start to see the athletic success come with it, well, that's a cream on the top right there. You want them to see that. I mean, nobody wants to see a kid bang their head against a wall for 4 years and not see any dividends from their effort. But you do want to see them achieve some of those goals that they had set out.
It's unfortunate, too, that South has to take their lumps, being still in the infancy stage. But you made a good point, though, too, Nick. Basketball, I remember doing that girls' game with Chad Bryan last year. On the floor at one time was just a sophomore and 4 freshmen. How do our coaches, do you have to be that motivator as well, too? How do you keep – because these kids know – they're going to take their lumps. I mean, let's be real. We'll talk about the Lady Camels of Gillette, or not, or Thunder Basin, whatever. These teams, sometimes they don't take the foot off the pedal, and they'll beat you into submission. But how do you keep those young ladies to still, or any athlete? How do you keep their interest in that sport? Come back and we'll work on it every weekend.
You got to get the buy-in from the beginning before you even get on the field or court. You have to start with that. You get the buy-in from the parents, and yeah, it's not easy when you got a team like that that's hammering you relentlessly. But then you got to go ahead and pick in a smaller compartmentalized version. You have to see where the successes are. You have to see, did you play, were you sloppy or did you play a clean game? And that's, like I said, as a former head coach, there's opponents that you see and you look at the tape and you're thinking to yourself, wow, how is this going to work out? And then you've got to sell it to everybody, and you got to keep that face in front of everybody that you absolutely believe that if you play that stellar team, you may have to tell it to your kids this way, that, listen, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, that this is going to be a tough one. We're going to have to play the perfect game, and they're going to have to make some mistakes. But here you go. If that happens, and that's why they play the game. Remember, that's why we're all a bunch of 16 to 18-year-olds that are on that field or on that court. It can happen. And at this level, more than any other level, it could happen today. And you have to get them to buy in that way, and you got to get them to believe.
And we saw that happen in the soccer program, too, where it was like, really? This happened? Great. Anyway, go ahead.
We finally got it underway. I just want to finish off at least one last question for myself, for you, Mark. Again, as we talk about transitioning from Johnson to South, but also, too, we do have a local community college of LCCC. We saw one Isaiah Dix representing on the men's basketball side for Coach Jason Ficca. But is that something that, again, as we talk with every AD, every head coach, again, the dream for these young, at least these youth, is, again, that college opportunity. Is that something where you have a good relationship out there with LCCC, with those coaches, and try to maybe encourage to be a part of those programs, especially with volleyball being a nationally ranked program, women's soccer, if they do have that opportunity, if Coach Jim, women's basketball, men's basketball, is that something where you try to, especially on the athletic side, of going, hey, take a look at what LCCC is doing right now. If you want to continue your career, if you're not D3, D2, D1 ready, here's this JUCO that are fantastic programs. Is that something you try to push pretty often, at least on those athletes who do have that potential to be that at least collegiate athlete?
We do. We talk to them, and I love Izzy. By the way, he's a great kid. I'd love to have him be one of the people that come on back and talk, and we'll look at that one. But yeah, you do want to, because that's the next level of success here in town is just out to the east of us. So you do want to take every tool that you could in your toolbox and try to use it right there. And I think that is a big one right there, because the volleyball team has had tremendous success, and I try to go to as many of their games, not just volleyball, basketball as well, and see that. We've hosted some of their soccer games at our facility too, which is awesome, because then again, now you show the soccer players, you make that announcement because of weather in their field and their facility wasn't ready, they call you up at the last second and come on over.
All right, finally here, and again, we want to thank Mark Webb joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Appreciate him coming on by. Again, officially it's not school session, but he's already been busy to start off the early campaign. And you got a busy one here Friday Night Lights with Natrona. I mean, come on. I mean, out of the box, they gave you Harshman squad right away.
At least it's here in Cheyenne.
Well, I know it's at least in Cheyenne, but what the heck? Do you have a say so with the Wyoming High School Activities Association? What are they doing to you?
I have the same say so that you have, and you see that schedule come out, and it's a 2-year deal. The only difference is where we are this year will be the opposite next year, and I refer from last year to this year. So after this year, it's gonna change a little bit, and we'll see if all they do is take the exact same schedule and then again flop home and away. I don't know how they do it or what they do. I'm sure there's a lot of things they have to take into consideration. It's one of those things where you be careful what you wish for when you say, well, I would love to line up my schedule. Well, right. I don't know if I would want that or not. But, you look at that, and it's a tough one, but you know what? You're going to see exactly where you are right off the bat.
What about the quadrant system that's going to be coming into play here? Your thoughts on that? And again, I know we'll be talking with Ron Laird tomorrow here. And again, we've got a bunch of things that we want to ask him, but again, the quadrant system, I've seen it in college with the old Western Athletic Conference when Wyoming was a part of it, and we would miss out on BYU for about 2-3 years when they were our natural rival. And again, with South, does this have benefits, or is it a wait and see for you?
I think it's a wait and see for me. Here our quadrant remains untouched. It's the three of us plus Laramie. Then you go to the northern side of our side of that, the quads and the cross quads and whatnot, and you got the two teams up in Gillette. You have Sheridan, and for the next 2 years you have Natrona. So just pick a sport, basketball. Let's just say right there. That's a tough side to go ahead and get out of. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna be busy beating up on each other.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bloodbath division, no kidding.
And so then you look at the other side, and traditionally speaking, it might not be the teams that get left out on our side may be just as good, if not better, than some of the teams that are in on the other side. So I think that's another one of the things when I say it's a wait and see, like you said, it's a wait and see, and maybe do we have to look into fixing something in it. And I don't know if we got to redo the whole thing, but maybe we need to figure out exactly how we do the district or the regionals and the conference and all that stuff to see how we are qualifying teams for state, to make sure, all right, are we doing this just to get half the teams from this side and half the teams from that side, or are we trying to get the best teams into state? So that'll be the question that'll be asked and answered for the next 2 years.
Well, hopefully we'll maybe get some sort of answer from Ron tomorrow when we ask him about the quadrant system, but who knows. I do want to remind folks again, Cheyenne South in action at home against Natrona County. 6 o'clock start time over there at Fighting Height.
We also have volleyball this Friday and Saturday. We got the Cheyenne Invite going on at all 3 schools.
Perfect. Also, too, do want to ask you, Mark, very quickly, is there a website or at least anywhere for fans, parents, even student athletes to know of schedules, for instance, where volleyball is going to be playing and what times, swimming, cross country, tennis. What is there a singular website that folks can go to check on what South is doing, at least in athletics?
SouthHighBisonAthletics.com. Get there, and that has everything on there. Has our schedules, has stories, has everything. Our friend Alan Combs at the Bison Network does a great job of streaming and doing that. We also, all of our games that are in our main gym or at our football field are streamed on the NFHS network as well. So we got plenty of ways for the public to come, not only come on out and see us, but see us from afar as well.
All right, sounds good. Mark Webb joining us here on 1480K. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come right back with more of Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Do you have a big remodeling project in mind? Then the best tool for you is a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank. Whether you are remodeling, making home repairs, or expanding, a home equity line of credit can help you finish that project. Stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high at 72. Partly to mostly cloudy for tonight with our low dropping down to 46 degrees and a slight chance of showers developing after midnight. A chance for showers in the morning, then a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy for your Tuesday. Expect a daytime high at 72, and for Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a chance for showers and thunder boomers. Our low down to 51.
Before David Dotson started talking about putting Wyoming first, he had a few other firsts. He first lived in Massachusetts, where he voted as a Democrat just a few years ago. Before landing in Jackson Hole, Dotson first gave $2,300 to support Barack Obama for president. Then Dotson gave $1,000 backing Bernie Sanders, the socialist. And while he now claims to live in Jackson Hole, Dotson built a multi-million-dollar home in California. Oh, and before running for Senate, Dotson first had to switch parties, becoming a Wyoming Republican only months ago. If Massachusetts and Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders and California all came first for David Dotson, doesn't that mean that he's putting Wyoming last?
I'm John Barrasso, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Friends of John Barrasso. BarrassoForWyoming.com.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83? Come on, you're up!
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
You know, it's really nice to get that opportunity to chat for a while with the athletic directors instead of doing about a 4, 5, 6 minute segment, that we do for our pregame shows when we do our athletic director. Because again, when we get into that part of the program, we're saying, tell us a little bit about the sports. Highlight an athlete that you see.
And with Mark, we haven't really gotten. We've had opportunities. We did talk with him over the phone, but again, this was a chance to get him in studio and kind of pick his brain on everything. And again, here we are, week 0, at least where other sports have been in action for fall. We're getting into the thick of things, especially with football coming up this weekend here. But again, it was just nice to sit down. Anticipated, I told him, hey, about 15-minute interview, and it went for an hour again, just to get to pick his brain, get his thoughts on everything, since we haven't really talked with, at least kind of had the odd opportunity with Cheyenne South. I have put out the word to both Jerry Slabs and Chad Whitworth. We did talk with them earlier, trying to get them on the show this week as well, too, to get Central and East. We will also, too, keep the theme of athletic directors on as well with tomorrow, as we mentioned, with Ron Laird, who is the commissioner of the Wyoming High School Athletics Association. At least he will be on. But we will also talk with LCCC Athletic Director Clark Rasmussen. He will be in studio with us tomorrow. So, again, we're keeping the theme of ADs. We're looking outreach to other ADs in the local area as well, too. So, hopefully that stuff we will be able to announce on our social media sides and on the show as well, too, coming up this week. Since it is, here we are, CSU in action this weekend at home against Hawaii, Wyoming in action down in Las Cruces. It's
week 0.
Here we are. It's regular season. Time to go.
I think the colleges have reported to school, but it's amazing how the K through 12s have not reported to school yet.
Some have. Some places, not in the state of Wyoming, but in other states they have.
Not here, they haven't reported. Let's see. What do we have coming up in the 4 o'clock hour?
Could talk about Colorado Springs, the Sky Sox. There was something interesting that I found out as well, too, about that team where we may have seen their last home game ever, possibly.
Well, and again, too.
It's not a possibly. It is, because we're not going back down there. And the Sky Sox, unfortunately, that AAA affiliation is going bye-bye.
We'll talk about that in the 4 o'clock hour. Yeah. We'll get into that. But I do want to take this opportunity. Thank you. Since we had birthdays, 3 days apart, Nick took it upon himself to get his tickets. I haven't been to a Colorado Springs Sky Sox. I think I told you had to be about 7 or 8 years old the last time we went to that field.
When they were Rockies affiliates.
When it was the Rockies affiliate. And yesterday we saw the Brewers affiliate taking on the Kansas City Royals affiliate, the Omaha Storm Chasers, where they used to be the Omaha Royals, and, of course, the Colorado Springs Sky Sox still that. Well, we'll talk more about that, but I just want to say thank you. We had front row seats yesterday.
Right behind at least home plate. That picture at least is on our Facebook and Twitter side. So, again, if you are on those pages, you haven't seen it yet, again, our seats were right behind the dish.
It was fun watching baseball at, 6,300 feet yesterday?
Something like that.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it's nothing different than here.
It was nothing high. It was another 1,000 feet plus higher at Colorado Springs.
If you want to go see offense, you go down to Colorado Springs, clearly.
If you're a pitcher, you definitely don't want to be in Colorado Springs.
No. That's the reason why those pitchers, at least, I think the one starter had, was it the starter that had a 5 ERA?
No, the starter. No, for the Omaha team.
They had elevated. I think
the
a lot.
Sky Sox guy actually had an ERA of like about a 3.2.
I thought it was like a 3.80 or something.
No, but by the time he exited, it was about 4 something or other because he got pummeled.
Well, he got hammered in the first inning, but then he rolled out.
But he only lasted 3 innings though yesterday. That's all they got out of him.
Well, I think by the 3rd inning he was up to 90 pitches.
Yeah, well, both pitchers were at 90 pitches. I think the guy for the Royals actually went 4+ innings yesterday. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And this is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being presented to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way, Platte Valley Bank on Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing, Medicap Pharmacy, where you will find Gene and his great staff over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body with the main repair center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, right across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D. In the Greenway Commons, it's Mondello's Pizzeria. And again, a reminder from Joe that they are doing some restructuring, remodeling of the La Osteria. But the pizzeria open 7
So they're
days
keeping
a week.
on par with construction around town?
Absolutely. But they're not laying down rock on the road, though.
Yeah.
We also want to thank the Wyoming-Montana Safety Council, 635-4592, Marv's Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, and we get hour number 2 off and running with our scoreboard, brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Nick?
Again, all I can do is recap yesterday's game from the Sky Sox that we attended between Omaha. Again, it was a Sky Sox victory, 17-5. And also, we'll take the time at least to remind folks again, Week 0 is upon us for high school football as we will be live from Risky Field covering the Central High Indians taking on the Thunder Basin Bolts. That game is a 7 o'clock kickoff. It's not 6, 7 o'clock is what the time is going to be. So pregame here on 1480 K-Ray will be about 6:30.
Yes, it will. And yours truly will have the play-by-play joined by Chris Polk.
And again, I say it's about, because again, it's Week 0. There might be hiccups. Who knows?
No, there's going to be... Basically, I've done opening day for so many years.
I'm just saying, you're dusting off things. Things might,
No, I've done opening day for years and years, and it's always a mess. All right, our baseball scoreboard. First, to let you know, the Rockies have the night off after sweeping not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 games from the Bravos over the weekend. The Orioles and the Blue Jays will match up in the Rogers Center at the 5 o'clock hour. To follow will be the Braves at the Pirates, Indians and the Red Sox, White Sox at the Twins. Giants will take on the Mets at Citi Field. It will be the Royals and the Rays at the Trop. Reds in the 6 o'clock hour will face the Brewers. The 8 o'clock hour is going to be packed with some big races. Rangers at the Oco to take on the Athletics. Astros will be at the M's to face the Mariners at Safeco. Cardinals, Dodgers facing off at Chavez Ravine. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on the Wyoming Sports Talk today. It is a Monday. It was a busy sports weekend.
Want to preface again, it is Monday, and Christy Waite from Channel 5 should be in here, but she did message me earlier saying that a other sports reporter there for Channel 5 is on vacation, so she is unfortunately busy covering sports over there.
One, yeah.
So unfortunately, she was anticipated to join us today, but couldn't. So hopefully next Monday she will be able to join us here as we have kind of set up 3 to 5 on our Monday shows here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. So hopefully we will.
All right, so let's get into some baseball. And of course, we'll get
Start with
back
minors.
We'll get back into the pennant races. So again, as we went to the top of the hour, and again, don't want to bore you with this. I'm not going to take too long on this.
No.
But the Sky Sox, the Brewers affiliate, taking on the Royals affiliate, Omaha, yesterday.
And again, it's a minor league game. Nothing different than what I saw in Las Vegas with the 51s. The Mets affiliate.
There's a lot of difference.
It's a minor league game where, again, every half and again, you see that with Major League ballparks. Again, it's where Major League is trying to get into. Minor League is already done. All right, we got to entertain the family.
It's a fun environment. Absolutely.
Again, keep the kids involved, or at least kind of keep their paying attention to it somewhat. But overall, again, presentation and just the game overall. Kudos to the Sky Sox again. Ballpark there at Security.
Well, and we went there yesterday, and this was funny. On a Sunday, it was 50-cent hot dog day.
Oh yeah.
So the interesting part,
which is not abnormal for a minor league promotion.
Well, no,
they do that all the time.
And again, this
and they give away a kids' backpacks as it is getting
and
closer.
Towels. We have. So anyway, here's the deal. What was interesting about yesterday is that you go to their concession stands, and the concession stand's no different than Coors Field.
No.
So I got 2 hot dogs yesterday for $1. My soda was $7.
Well, I went more healthy. I went for the water.
Well, I went with water,
and 2 hot dogs for $5.25. So not bad.
It's $5.50.
Oh yeah.
So because the water was $4.50, but yeah,
still not bad.
Well, no, and I
remember going at least with the Rangers game to get a hot dog and even a water was at least $10. Something like that. Again, I can't remember.
Thank goodness for the 50-cent hot dog day yesterday. But
not a bad promotion. It was essentially of, hey, get the kids out, or at least how the Sky Sox presented it was, all right, it's feed the family, come on out, watch a game, get some hot dogs.
Surprisingly enough, for a team that is running for playoff positioning in the PCL.
I think they're a half game behind, at least they're half game behind Oklahoma City, who is the Dodgers AAA affiliate. But again, yeah, they're in the thick of it.
But it's tough, though.
You only have 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks left of the season.
But it's also tough, too, like we were talking on the way home, to get families out there, or you and me to go out there for 3 consecutive days. Friday, Saturday, those are the big times to go out during the evening.
And not like tickets are insane.
I know, but Sunday is kind of a family day. You got church, you got this, you got that, and not everybody can make it out on a Sunday to the ballpark. So it was not a big crowd that we experienced yesterday.
And that kind of goes into at least what I preface at least before the top of the hour with the Sky Sox. They are moving away from Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is going to lose its AAA affiliation. That's
a shame, too.
In one of the main, or at least there were 2 main reasons why the Sky Sox in the AAA, at least affiliation, is going to leave Colorado Springs. It's going to go head on over to San Antonio to become the San Antonio Missions. They will still be at least the AAA Brewers affiliate, but now in San Antonio. 2 of the main reasons, we'll start with number 1, and something we discuss, weather is kind of an issue down there in Colorado Springs.
Right.
We saw it at least yesterday afternoon. Very chilly. It looked like it was going to rain. It was kind of forecast to be, but it never did. But it's more so those early months where the Pacific Coast League starts around April, ends here September. Those early months, they've noticed for quite some time that snow and bad weather kind of takes part, at least forefront and center there in Colorado Springs. So a lot of those games get kind of washed out, or scheduling conflicts.
They get wiped out, especially it is a turf field, obviously turf and dirt.
Yeah.
And when we got to understand, too, look at the hail that they've had there.
I mean, the Broadmoor golf course got ruined by the hail. But again,
but in the reporting that I saw with the Sky Sox, it was more so of the snow and the colder weather that is kind of plagued where these teams have to cancel.
And they're usually in cold weather till about mid-May.
Yeah. So again, you're losing where they start in April and May. That's where kind of having those issues. And again, it's why we're seeing a lot of those AAA teams at Pacific Coast moving down south, where hey, it is warmer. San Antonio, Albuquerque,
all the games,
yeah. Again, Oklahoma City, to name a few. But the other one was also, too, what we saw, at least front and center there, where at least in Security Systems ballpark, from what I saw, it seats 8,500 people. There was not even...
Maybe 1,500.
I highly doubt that.
Well, we'll go with that.
But it's a big stadium, holds 8,500 people down there. But that is the number two thing, at least, of why the Sky Sox are moving, is not a whole lot of fans there in the Colorado Springs area, or even from Denver, or maybe coming up from Pueblo, have not attended these games. Attendance has been a rough issue for the Sky Sox.
And really, Colorado Springs could support it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, alone they could support it. But, and again, it's not hard to get to that ballpark.
No.
For those that live in Colorado
Main
Springs.
thoroughfare right there, again, not downtown, but on the east, at least eastern part of Colorado Springs. But it's right by major roads, not a difficult way to get there.
Yeah, it's on
not a difficult find.
A variety of parkways.
Not in a rough area of Colorado Springs either. It's in a pretty up and coming new part of Colorado Springs.
Well, and again too, it's a shame. And again, like anything else with the AAA franchise. It's got the radio presentation.
Oh yeah.
The sponsorships as well, and like you said, it was fun to go to the ballpark yesterday and watch the AAA affiliate.
So
now the one thing that wasn't fun though. Now again, I like home runs. Don't get me wrong, but on pop-ups that go out of the ballpark, I got a problem with that. There was a jet stream yesterday that was going out to right field.
Yeah. It was kind of the winds were moving from east to kind of
the leadoff hitter
east to south.
The leadoff hitter for Omaha was hitting $1.25 yesterday. Must have been just recently called up from Double A.
Had to be.
And I mean, his first at bat, he crushes it out of the ballpark.
I think that was a legitimate home run.
I think his second time up though was not.
It was questionable. That one should have been a routine fly out, but. Again, with a minor league, at least contest, hey, they are known for being high-scoring affairs, and that certainly was.
Well,
we saw 7 home runs in total in that game.
The guy from the Brewers, the starting pitcher, he was chucking it 96 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He was throwing a good fastball yesterday. But if you made
there were some that he left where it was, you shouldn't have done that one.
Well, but again, there was a couple of home runs hit by the guys on the Brewers.
Sky Sox.
The Sky Sox. One that went 410. I thought that was going to be popped up to center field. The guy even in center field was coming in for it.
Yeah, you could see that the center fielder was having his issues, or at least thought it was going to be a pop-up, and then again got caught in the winds and then just kept on carrying by. But, hey, if you want to see offense, that's where you go to see a ball game. It's Colorado Springs, where it was just thunderous every single time.
And then I think back to when at Castle Rock, nearby Castle Rock, where they used to have the golf tournament there. I mean, you could just knock the snot out of the ball. They used to play on a different system than, 1 under par and that. I mean, this is where you let it all hang out. Down in Colorado Springs, it's a little higher up. And, again, the air is a little bit thinner. And I mean, balls. Okay,
but again, if we're not using Coors Field as an argument for anything, or
Coors Field, but again, see, here's where you and I disagree on. Coors Field is down. It is down in a little bit of a not a Coliseum type of look, but it's down below the road as you're going by I-25.
Right.
And again, too, it's
but is that something
enclosed.
You can use an excuse though for Colorado Springs?
It's not as windy.
All right.
You have to get it high up into the jet stream. These guys were not hitting them high in the jet stream. Once you got it up in the air, the wind was carrying it out. Plus, it's 1,000 feet higher, where it's
essentially it's what you see over here at Powers Field. Is essentially what you're seeing again, where it doesn't have the big backstop, but again,
not really.
Okay, but it's same elevation, same wind conditions, same again above ground situation where the post 6-6ers have to deal with Cheyenne Mustangs, and again we've talked to both managers about that, where it's something you adjust to. It's something where you take advantage of. Clearly, Colorado Springs did that as well too with the Sky Sox, again putting up 17 runs on the board, and majority of home runs coming from that team. It's something that you kind of embrace as a pitcher as well too. You take that, you understand of what you're getting yourself into, what is going to be trouble compared to if you're at sea level where that's going to be a routine fly out, it's something you adjust to. Again, are the Sky Sox using that ballpark as an excuse to go on, well, or maybe you take it with a grain of salt. The Brewers of at least, if the front office of the Brewers are going and trying to scout up at least some of these players to the big leagues, maybe you take it with a grain of salt, but also too, they know what they're getting into, and I don't think that ballpark and everything around it is an excuse.
The dimensions were 350 down the line, as I recall yesterday. I think
it was 380.
No, it was 350 down the line, 385 to the power alley, 410 straightaway center. That's what it was yesterday.
Maybe. I can't remember.
And the one guy that hit the home run straightaway center, in any other ballpark, that would have been a fly out to not even the warning track, because he didn't hit it that good. I mean, we're sitting right there. We're hearing the crack of the bat yesterday, and you're seeing the ball go up, and it's like, okay, this is going to be caught. Next thing you know, then we're going, wow, this thing's going to go out of the ballpark.
I don't know what the hell you're complaining about. Again, it was offensive.
I liked it.
I'm
just saying, though, it's
something you adjust to. Again, those wins aren't probably picking up every single time down there in
Let me
Colorado
say
Springs.
this. Colorado Springs is not a pitcher's ballpark. Okay?
No, clearly. It's same with Colorado, at least with the Rockies. It's the same situation. I do want to at least go back when we were talking about with the Sky Sox moving. Again, this is their final season as a AAA affiliate, which it seems like the Sky Sox have been a AAA team for quite some time, for whether it is the Brewers, the Rockies. I do believe also to AAA affiliate for the Cleveland Indians years ago, but it is the first time in quite some time that they were going to lose that AAA affiliate, and what's going to happen is a Pioneer League team, which is rookie ball.
Somebody to replace it, okay.
Yeah, which is rookie ball, unfortunately. So, again, you go from AAA, where these are right below Major League ball players, to a rookie ball team, which is going to be the Helena Brewers. That team is going to be moving south to Colorado Springs. You're going to get a Pioneer League team, because what the Pioneer League does is they only play shortened months during the summer, because, again, it's basically all these Rocky Mountain teams, Grand Junction, few out of Idaho, few out of Montana with Great Falls, Billings, to name a few. But it's, for Colorado Springs, would love to know kind of the pulse of that, at least fan base out there, of how they feel about this. I would assume majority have got to be upset about this, where you are losing that AAA affiliate because of, and some of it is on their fault. Again, they notice, or at least, again, main emphasis was attendance has been rough out there in Colorado Springs, but also, too, weather was a factor in it. But, again, solid fans of this franchise, or at least have been following this minor league team for quite some time there in Colorado Springs, it's got to be rough to see that go away, and now all we get is rookie league. And, again, nothing against rookie league, but clearly, again, you want to see
it's going to be
these
half,
are semi-pro.
half the games.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting, too, because the Sky Sox, they actually moved to Colorado Springs from Hawaii. As you mentioned, they were the Cleveland Indians minor league team. So they moved from Hawaii in 1988. Imagine going from Hawaii to the Springs. And again, summertime temperature is about the same, but again, we have more threats of rain, hail, weather conditions, during the summer months. During the springtime, it's a crapshoot whether you play or not. So it's a shame. Like I said, I think they do a good job down there. Like in most minor league teams try their best to woo fans and, like you said, make it a family type of atmosphere.
Which you have to do.
It reminds me of the rookie with Dennis Quaid, how they used to set up things at the ballpark, when he was coming up through the minor league systems. They try to make everything fan friendly. Unfortunately, it's all about the turnstiles, too, and when you lose games because of the weather, those games can't be made up. A lot of them can't be made up.
No, especially with a somewhat shortened, or at least kind of tight-knit schedule that they do have. They don't have the flexibility, and also, too, probably, I would assume, money is an issue as well, where you can't get away with that with the major leagues where, hey, Colorado with the Rockies, hey, we had a few games snowed out. We can make those up later times when we do have breaks and can travel to and fro. I think with the minors, obviously, I think it's a money issue where you got to scrap some of those snow cancellations if you do have them there in Colorado Springs. They're going, well, I guess we're not making that one up. We can't really afford it at this point.
You'll try to make it up maybe at the other place, but it's very rare that a lot of these games, if they get wiped out after 5-6 innings, they don't sit there and wait the 2 hours.
Yeah.
The game's over.
It'd be interesting to see, again, if Colorado Springs, at least the fan base down there, is not showing up for AAA ball for the Sky Sox team. Again, it's not a terrible ball, at least ball club. It's a team that hasn't seen the playoffs very often, but it's an okay team. How's this city going to react to rookie league ball? If they can't show up for AAA, again, rookie league, that's bottom of the barrel of at least for the minor leagues, where you're competing against Grand Junction and kind of local Rocky Mountain teams.
And Grand Junction draws better than Colorado Springs, and they're the A affiliate for the Rockies.
Well, they're the rookie.
Yeah, but I mean that's the single A affiliate for the Colorado Rockies.
They're not single A again. It's rookie ball. They're the entrance to everything. They
draw better, and Grand Junction supports the Rockies.
But again, my issue though with Colorado Springs, though, if attendance is already an issue right now for AAA ball for Sky Sox, what is it going to be like for the Pioneer League? Are any fans going to show up to this thing?
Well, but it's going to be less dates though, Nick. So less dates means less money. So if you are a season, matter of fact, we sat next to a guy yesterday who talked for the entire game. I've gone to a lot of baseball games before, and this guy is a season ticket holder, so I really, didn't have much of an argument with this guy. But this guy talked for him, his wife, and the guy behind him. They talked the entire ball game, and I don't even think they even watched any of the game.
No, I don't think they knew it was going on.
Matter of fact, I leaned forward a few times just so I can, get a feel of what the pitcher was throwing, and looking at the bats. I was more interested in, but I mean, it's like, I don't know how much season ticket prices are down there, but again, too, it's going to be lesser dates and again,
older gentlemen, so no millennial argument or anything like that. So
no.
But again, you see that in any major league game. I wouldn't even say baseball.
They had their share of liquor in them yesterday.
Well, guess what? That's what happens.
But my point is, though, again, there's less games to go to. So will it draw more fans? Maybe. Again, going to a ballpark, even for you.
Sorry, if I'm a fan down there in Colorado Springs, again, nothing against rookie league, but it's not that prestige of, it's a AAA, it's major league. It's like that. I would be curious to see one game, but that's about it.
Well, but also too, I'm curious to see, do they drop prices like at the concessions? And again, if you look at the concession area, they have similar stuff to Coors Field.
Yeah.
You could buy hard alcohol there if you want. You also can go to a restaurant there on the I think it was on the right field side, if I remember.
I think it was right behind third base.
Okay, third base. That's right. When we were walking out of the parking lot, excuse me. But also on the right field side, they had that enclosed area.
Oh yeah.
But again, too, rookie ball. Are you going to charge $8 for a soda pop? I don't think so.
They got to make their money somehow, and if they do retain those prices, again, I think that detracts people more and more.
I would hate to be the radio station there because they have been on board. This is where they, again, if they are doing like we do, we make a little bit of a living off our sports sponsors, but they have sports sponsors that go right from Colorado Springs Sky Sox into their, I think they have a professional soccer team down or minor league soccer.
Minor league, yeah. I think it's called
I'm not sure if they are an affiliate of the Air Force. I don't know. I mean, they carry Air Force basketball. So, again, this is going to be a little bit of a hurt to their budget as well because I don't know how many people want to jump on board, like you say, and be a sponsor of rookie ball.
Yeah, it's just an interesting situation going down there in Colorado Springs where, again, you had that opportunity, you had something great with a AAA team, and now you lost it.
Yeah.
Now what's going to happen? Is there any point to even have this Pioneer League, at least this rookie ball, come down to Colorado
Look
Springs?
what happened up in Casper.
Yeah.
And again, too.
And we haven't even catched up as well, too, and we'll probably, in due time, because their season already wrapped up, and the Casper Horseheads that were playing in that Expedition League, they were pretty rough this year. They were one of the worst teams in that Expedition League. Be interested to see if fans showed up to be a part of those.
But I'm just saying, the Rockies lost their affiliate up there because of, I think it was lack of attendance, but also, too, the media up there. Matter of fact, let's look at what's going on now. They're not even going to cover high school sports up there. They couldn't sell it. I mean, you couldn't even get sponsors to sponsor baseball.
They probably have terrible salespeople up there. Then again,
I don't know.
But it's a situation again. You had something special up there, or at least down there in Colorado Springs. You didn't take advantage of it, and guess what? You're losing it. It's, again, only fitting.
Blame but yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with Casper, again, with the Casper Ghosts, Casper Rockies. Hey, if you're not showing up, guess what? We're going to move on away from you. It'd be interesting, again, I'll probe into that. We'll talk with Chuck Heeman, again, with the Casper Horseheads of how they did. Because, again, when we talked with him before the Horseheads season began this year, again, it was the first season for the Casper Horseheads where they were trying to bring that minor league flair. Again, make it like as if these were players going to be a part of minor league baseball teams.
It's to a certain degree, it's almost rookie league because they are college players.
Yeah.
But also semi-pro, I should say.
Well, again, it's similar to what we saw here with the collegiate or the Rocky Mountain Collegiate.
But here's the same thing, too. What happened in Casper, that doesn't bode well here for Cheyenne because we sit here and go, we want it, we want it, we want it.
But will people support it?
Yeah, but will people support it?
Something tells me highly doubtful.
I don't know if we're going to be able to.
Which is a shame. Again, it's
muscle up to the bar and support it. I don't think we can.
Yeah.
I don't think we will. Everybody's behind it, but nobody wants to support it. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot. Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
The governor's job is to manage state finances, understand all of Wyoming, and work with the people to get things done. How do you choose who to vote for? The candidates are all pretty conservative. What separates us? Experience. I've delivered results in my community, in business, and in our government. Now I want to put that experience to work for you from day one. And I would very much appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Paid for by Friends of Mark Gordon.
Republican Senator Al Simpson.
Hi, this is Al Simpson. Electing our own office holders is one of our most precious freedoms, so don't be deceived by outside billionaires telling you how to vote. Come down on the side of Mark Gordon. I've known Mark most of his life. He's a rancher, small business guy, plus he's made a real difference in Cheyenne as our state treasurer. Most of all, Mark Gordon is the genuine article. Mark is going to be a great governor.
Paid for by Friends of Mark Gordon.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? They can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16th-month CD at an APY of 2.05% and a 27th-month CD at an APY of 2.27%. You can feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 72. Partly to mostly cloudy for tonight with our low dropping down to 46 degrees and a slight chance of showers developing after midnight. A chance for showers in the morning, then a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy for your Tuesday. Expect a daytime high of 72 and for Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a chance for showers and thunder boomers. Our low down to 51.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Baseball note, sad notes. It's always tough to lose one of the former players, but if you think of the movie Major League, you kind of think of this guy
was like Lou Brown, the skipper of the Indians, Doc Edwards, who managed the Indians from 87 through 89, and they were not good, trust me, died at the age of 81. He spent more than a half century in baseball, played with the Indians in the 60s, managed them in the 80s. Born Howard Rodney Edwards, his nickname came through his time as a Navy medic, Doc Edwards, passing away at the age of 81. All right, so let's go to Major League Baseball. I know we're going to be running short on time. We got football to talk about. Probably won't get to a lot of that.
We have a whole week to talk about things.
But looking at it, well, you want to talk about the Bronx. You want to talk about the Niners. You want to talk about.
I mean, the Broncos are, again.
How about in Buffalo? A.J. McCarron goes down. What's next? Or Josh Allen?
How weird was that? Where, again, I talk about it on Friday's show of, well, the only chance that Josh Allen has to start is if McCarron goes down.
Boom.
He's down for a couple weeks now, and now it's a legitimate thing of Josh Allen, you need to go out there, play, and you can be the starter.
It might be a little longer than that. But anyway,
from what I saw, it was about week 5, week 6 is what was kind of projected of how long he's going to be out. So like nothing terribly, not the entire season, but around maybe mid-season.
So it's about 8 more weeks he's going to be on the shelf.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at what happened in Major League Baseball over the weekend. And there's 2 things that happened that made things very interesting.
You saw a team, or at least a team that's kind of been rising, finally tie.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the
Athletics. The Athletics and the Astros. The A's took 2 out of 3 at the Oco from Houston. Now Houston will take Seattle on. Seattle struggled against the Dodgers.
Still in it, I guess, as much as kind of the weeks are waning down right now in times against the Mariners. But again, a team that's still playing could entertain a wild card or still that AL West title, but it's looking pretty rough.
They didn't have a bad week. They were in their last 10 games. They're 6-4.
How about that? Again, going against the Dodgers with the Mariners. One game where you had a walk-off balk. Are you kidding me? Dodgers, you're that bad? You're having that rough of a stretch right now? That
Kershaw slammed the door on him.
You blow one game on a walk-off balk? How does that even happen? You're a professional.
But understand this now. Let's go to the American League. Boston
couldn't happen to a better team. I'll just say that.
Boston has won 70% of their games. They are
again.
They're comfortable right now.
That's the team to beat right now. It's a team that everyone should be very afraid of. They're winning the AL East. They're going to be the best team in baseball. We know that. And I think without a doubt, it's a team that's going to break the all-time win rate.
Well, and now here's the other part of that program. The Yankees are the #1 wild card. However, the A's are the #2 wild card. They're only 4 games behind the Bronx Bombers. And they do have that series coming up in
I think
September.
With the A's right now, their real focus is, again, where they touched it, they're at that point, is they want that AL West title. They could care. I think it's a team right now where they're not even focused on wild card. It's more so of, hey, we tied this team, the team that has dominated this West division throughout last season to this season. Hey, guess what? We finally tied them. We climbed back up to this thing, and we have a shot at this. I think for the A's, again, obviously your focus is winning that division.
So the A's will be looking at the scoreboard for the M's, and, of course, Texas has provided some problems in the past for the Oakland.
Texas, for whatever reason, they've turned it on here in the second. Or I wouldn't say turned it on, but it's a team that doesn't want to roll over and die.
Yeah, they're going to play spoiler. One of the things that's unique about the Swinging A's is I'm going to give them back that moniker again. They are 37-25 at home.
Yeah,
37-25 on the road.
They're good.
Yeah,
they're very good.
They're good at both.
And again, this is a team. This is a team that's turned it around since the first half of the season, where they were the 14. They were looking behind the Angels, the Mariners, and the Houston Astros, and they were about again. I think it was late May. They were 15 games behind the Astros. And now they're at this point, they've been one of the behind the Red Sox, they're one of the hottest teams in baseball.
All right, then we'll move over to the National League and big series. Well, first off, we can formally write off the Giants. I mean, they lost 4. They lost 3 straight to the Reds.
Yeah,
are you kidding me? To the Reds,
especially on the road. I understand that they do have those struggles on the road.
To the Reds,
but it's. Yeah, Giants, unfortunately, the season is kind of wrapped.
Done. Put a fork in them. However, on the other side of the coin, Rockies.
Oh, and you might get your wish with a Giants player as well, too, on the move, possibly. But
Who's that?
Rumors have been swirling that Joe Panic might not be a Giant much longer.
Good. Get him out. Guy plays what? He plays 1 month and then he's hurt for the next 2.
Well, it's same with Cueto. It's same with Shamarza. It seems
who's interested in Panic?
I didn't see, but it was just part of the rumor mill that he might be on the move.
Good. Get rid of. There's about 3 more guys you can put on that list too. Anyway, looking at the Rockheads, they came up big this weekend in Cumberland, Georgia. 4 consecutive wins. Remember, I said that they needed to, at least get 3 out of 4 in this thing, or split. And here's what they did: they swept Atlanta. Interesting to note, Atlanta loses 4 games, and Philly is still behind them by a half a game.
Well, Philly kind of faltered a few contests, but they
play the Mets.
Yeah, the Mets, for whatever reason, and again, obviously it's interdivision play, the rivals, especially with Mets and Phillies. They know each other very well. 2 fan bases that just hate each other. It's, again, I wouldn't write. It's a similar situation with Giants and Dodgers, Yankees and Red Sox, where, again, if one of those teams is bad, you don't write them off in that kind of rivalry, especially with Mets and Phillies. It is 2 teams that do very much hate each other. It is a strong rivalry between those 2. So even with the Mets as terrible and as awful as they are, it's a series where you don't write them off.
And the Mets beat them last night in Williamsport as they
did that. And again, Mets are like the Rangers. They're playing spoiler. They're going to do that. They're going to try and pretty much put the stake in the coffin for the Giants coming up this week. This homestand that they have out there in Citi Field. But
well, anyway, with the Mets beating the Phils last night, they beat them at Williamsport, Pennsylvania. That's the 2nd year that they've done this special game. They've already announced the teams for next year for the Little League World Series. It would be the Cubs and the Pirates next year. So looking forward to that. It's always fun. The guys having a great time with all the kids yesterday, and then they went out and played some baseball. So with the National League right now, Braves leading the East by a half game. Nats, they're like the Giants. I think put a fork in them. They're done. Cubs are still leading the Central. The Brewers not going away.
The Brewers kind of went away, though. Again, they struggled over the past weekend.
They're 3.5 out, but they actually have the wild card record right now. They're first place for the wild card. Cardinals not going away either after their shake-up with the front, or the on-field office, I should say. They are a half game behind the Brewers. Got the Diamondbacks, and then
I was going to say there's still one more team in that Central. Pittsburgh, they're along the lines of a Washington.
They're too far back. I think they're too far back to make noise.
It's a team that doesn't want to go away, though. It's a team where it's showing that as much as we might be behind, or at least that number might be growing a bit, we're still going to put a fighting effort.
Yeah, they're 4-6 in their last 10.
They do play in that tough Central Division where it's going to be they would need to be very extremely lucky to have any luck, at least to get in the playoffs.
So the Diamondbacks now are still in the driver's seat in the West, but it's a nervous driver.
And go figure that they're still in the driver's seat, especially taking on a weekend series with the Padres. Go figure.
Yeah, they're a half game ahead of the Rockies, who draw the Padres.
Padres might beat them. Who knows?
That bothers me. Yeah, the Rockies seem to, if they have a nemesis, it's San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, San Diego just makes them earn every victory they get, or they punish them. So we'll see what happens in that series. Dodgers, they won't go away. They're 2 games out.
As much as they should go away. Again, what a pathetic effort against the Mariners.
Yeah.
Sure, you did have one great game with Kershaw. You kind of anticipate that. But other than that, though, this team, as much as you kind of shake your head at the Giants of losing to the Reds and, what the hell's going on. Same with the Dodgers. The Dodgers, again, a walk-off balk to get the victory for the Mariners? Really? You're a professional team. How do you allow that? This is a bullpen that desperately needs Jansen back. They desperately need him back. They need to get an extreme break for this bullpen as well, where they're just – this bullpen doesn't know what it's doing.
This team has fallen without – and again, if it wasn't –
again, you can't write them off. We're not writing them off.
No, if it wasn't for Kershaw, though, yesterday, this team was going to be in a world of hurt. That's for sure, if they would have lost that one. They've won 4 out of their last 10. They've lost 4 games to the Rockies.
Well, they struggle against the Giants as well, too, at home.
Yeah, that's when the Giants' last one was the first two games against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you right now, it's going to be an interesting run for the pennant in the West. 3 teams, yeah, for sure. But this is going to be a big series right now with the Padres at home, followed up by the Cardinals. So you got Anderson on the hill tonight. Gray will follow tomorrow. Freeland will throw Thursday afternoon. So, and again, with the Padres, they are a nemesis to the Rocks. Just can't figure them out.
Well, again, it's a team that's going to try and play spoiler as much as they can. Again, they faltered against the Diamondbacks clearly, but again, your new target is the Rockies. Can you get it done in Coors Field? Possibly. We've seen it before this season where they've taken care of business there at Coors Field, especially when the Rockies were just awful at home. But who knows? This is kind of showing right now. This is a Rockies team that is. It feels like we're still kind of on that roller coaster ride with them. Where, again, you can have your high moments, which you're at this point in time, but it can slowly, maybe they get caught off guard with this Padres team, and it goes downhill very fast. Who knows?
It'll be kind of interesting to see in this series with the Padres coming off the Dodgers' last homestand where they drew about 170,000 fans. I mean, again, they drew 43,000 on the 9th, 42,000 on the 10th, 47,000 on the 11th, and then Sunday on Getaway Day it was 40,000. So it'll be interesting to see if the fans
they're actually
are going to start
coming
up. Yeah, but that was the Dodgers. It'll be
which was a mixture of Dodger fans again as they kind of just spread like crazy out here.
But it'll be an interesting sight tonight when we watch the game. Tomorrow night. When the Rockies take on the Padres, will those same 35,000, 40 fans show up to support the Rocks?
Especially when it's Bronco season, you got college football around. Yeah.
Bronco season, let's get into that after this timeout right here on 1480 K-Ray.
This is R.J. Fox. 1480 K-Ray is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Join me as you'll hear all the play-by-play of Cheyenne East, Cheyenne Central, and Cheyenne South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason as well. During the basketball season, 1480 K-Ray will be featuring both boys and girls games. So catch all the calls on AM 1480 K-Ray. Also streaming the games online at 1480kray.com.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
John Barrasso, conservative for Wyoming.
Wyoming is a land of spectacular beauty and great history. Teddy Roosevelt loved Wyoming. He praised Wyoming's cowboy cavalry that helped form his Rough Riders. That cowboy courage and determination lives on today in our people. As a doctor, I help people get healthy again. Now as a senator, I fight to protect our state and make our country stronger.
John fights alongside President Trump to end the war on Wyoming's energy economy. He fights for Wyoming veterans, our small businesses and job creators, to protect our farmers and ranchers from costly Washington rules and mandates. And John fought for tax cuts that help hard-working Wyoming families and businesses. And we won.
I'm John Barrasso. I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote to keep fighting for you and Wyoming's families.
Paid for by friends of John Barrasso. BarrassoForWyoming.com.
Is your free checking account no longer free? Lose those checking account fees and lose the hassle by switching to Platte Valley Bank's Value Checking and experience truly free checking. With Platte Valley Bank's Value Checking, there is no minimum balance required, unlimited check writing, no per check charge, no monthly service charge, free net banking, free e-statements, free bill pay, free mobile banking, and Platte Valley Bank customers can use their debit cards at any ATM anywhere absolutely free. So stop by Platte Valley Bank today and lose those fees with Value Checking.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine. Expect a daytime high of 72. Partly to mostly cloudy for tonight with our low dropping down to 46 degrees and a slight chance of showers developing after midnight. A chance for showers in the morning, then a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy for your Tuesday. Expect a daytime high of 72 and for Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a chance for showers and thunder boomers are low down to 51.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
So, am I the A.J. McCarron curse, apparently? Friday?
I guess so.
That blew my mind when I saw that breaking news that he was going to be injured again. I said that, not anticipating that he was going to be injured. It was more so of, this is what's going to have to happen, if at all, for Josh Allen to become a starter for the Buffalo Bills. Well, it happened. He's going to be out for quite some time. And I think the performance that he put on against the Browns over the past weekend, I think if you're Buffalo, granted you are behind the eight ball, and this isn't what you wanted to happen for Josh Allen. Again, where it was a situation where you wanted him to spend time, learn, not push him out immediately. But now you have to you seriously have to take a look and go, he might have to start us out week one. We might have to put a rookie out and go, hey, this is your team.
But Peterman started last year. He's got NFL experience. Allen doesn't.
But I think you have to give a serious look at Josh Allen and go, could be, again, right now it is a quarterback battle right now in Buffalo. We knew it was A.J. McCarron's fight to win. He was kind of the guaranteed starter. Now with him out, as much as Josh Allen was kind of placed third on your depth chart, I think it's a point in time where you need to take a serious look and go, maybe we should just go with him week one. Maybe give the rookie his shot. Let him have this team. Let him show what he's got in him. As much as we didn't want to this season, maybe this is some sort of sign right now here in Buffalo of going, all right, maybe we made a perfect pick here with Josh Allen. Who knows? Again, right now we're coming up in week 3 of preseason.
Right. Well, you only got 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
So
and you got to make that decision. And right now, especially after the performance that Josh Allen did put on against the Browns, I think he has a good case of being that starter, that week 1 starter for the Buffalo Bills. I think he put on a great performance against the Browns. I think it's something, as much as it was far-fetched about 4 days ago when I was kidding about it on Friday's show, I think right now this is a legitimate possibility that this might be Josh Allen's team now, week 1.
Well, you look back at the numbers, and again, you take the numbers for what they're worth here in preseason. Peterman was 8 of 10 for 113 yards, a touchdown. Josh was 9 of 13 for 60 yards and a touchdown as well. Which
is not bad.
Both absorbed a sack.
Yeah. Well,
So, you know,
again, that offensive line is nothing too great there in Buffalo.
yeah, but you're talking 9 of 13 for Josh Allen. That's an average of only 4.6 yards per pass.
Yeah.
Nothing of great shakes for Josh Allen. But again, too,
I mean, it wasn't awful. It's a situation where
it was okay.
You do look. You do consider him now.
Now, the Broncos.
Could it be?
Broncos on the other side of the
Who
coin.
cares about the Broncos?
Well,
they're going to be awful.
Fans here in this part of the world do.
I'm just saying they're going to be awful. Fans, you got to realize this team is not going to be good.
Well, this is a team also went 3-1 or 4-0 in the preseason last year.
Yeah,
and just totally
dropped an egg. Yeah.
They're actually going the right direction. They're going 0-2 right now, trying to figure out what problems they have. And the one problem they have is that number 3 quarterback, Paxton Lynch.
Yeah, who apparently was so upset by his at least performance in the contest on Saturday that he found himself in the locker room kind of weeping, a little bit emotional of just how bad things have gotten so far in Paxton Lynch's kind of career.
5 of 11, 39 yards passing, got sacked twice for 11 yards, and his average pass, the average pass is 3.5 yards. Chad Kelly right now is I don't say he's pushing Case Keenum. Keenum actually had
Keenum's your boy. Keenum's your boy. There's no question that Case Keenum is not going to be starting week 1, but if this is a train wreck as it might be week 4, week 5, week 6, kind of later into the season where we saw last season where you saw the QB kind of shake up there in Denver, I think with Chad Kelly it's the same thing where you got to take a look at this might be your possible, if things are dire, if the season starts out pretty rough for the Broncos, and if it's not working with the Case Keenum experience, Chad Kelly's got to be that answer. I think he might be that answer. Is he that player that's going to change the Broncos' fortune? I don't see it. It won't happen immediately, but who knows?
Lynch was your best average runner as he had 2 runs for 18 yards.
He run for his life.
I think on the running side, Broncos got problems.
Yeah, they really do.
Freeman and Lindsey.
I think with the running game, it's almost karma getting back at the Broncos of why you got rid of Anderson.
Booker kind of showed me in the 4 rushes that he had for 17 yards. That's Denver Bronco rushers, but this team has got problems.
Do you think they regret the Anderson move?
No, I don't think that was a bad. I think this Freeman character is going to be okay, but I'm just saying, I just don't. Maybe it's just me, and I might be wrong. And again, maybe they're not showing anything here in the first 2 games, but this offense is going to be dull.
Yeah, I get it.
It's dull.
Not to draw parallels, but it's for the Broncos. Again, you're going to rely heavily on that defense, and that defense might keep you in some games.
Defense is good.
Defense is solid. It's nothing fantastic. It's not the top of the league. I'll guarantee you that. But it is a defense that's going to keep this team into ball games, keep them at least respectable of where, all right, maybe you're down by a touchdown. Now it's up to the offense to see if they can drive down that field and put up points. That's going to be the real question for this season.
I don't think the Denver Broncos, really with their defense, are going to get blown away, but putting points on the scoreboard is something.
That's going to be a chore.
That's going to be tough on them.
That's going to be a task this season. Now, I don't see it coming from Case Keenum. I really don't. Case Keenum is not going to be what you saw in Minnesota. He's going to be the average backup quarterback that he should be, and that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
He has some good pieces around him. I'll give him that are going to be good targets, but is he going to be able to find them? Is he going to is that offense, at least that offensive line, is it going to hold so he can actually plant down and find those targets? I don't see it.
Yeah,
at this point, again, it's early on, but With anything, I take preseason with a grain of salt. Week 1
absolutely.
will be the true test.
But I'm getting more and more impressed with Chad Kelly. And then I want to go real quickly because our boys were playing and really Garoppolo. Jimmy G looked good, but I also I like Deshaun Watson. It was good to see him back.
Yeah.
And I think with Houston, he's needed back there. And again,
I think with Houston, they love seeing him back, at least again healthy going into this season.
He seems not to be showing any effects of the knee injury. But Garoppolo, he threw an INT. But you know what? I mean, his average, he was 10 of 12, 130 some yards. And that's an average of 11-point-some yards per pass. That means, and again, too, his receivers are getting yards after the catch, but also, too, they're not just throwing little flares. They're actually going downfield.
Again, as much as you poo-poo it and a lot of other people around kind of poo-poo the 49ers, it's a team that you need to watch out for. This is a team that's going to be a sleeper team.
I'm still nervous about the run.
It's going to be a dark horse team where without taking the pulse of the nation, it's a team where some might think it's going to be good, some might think it's not going to be. For me, again, not being a homer, and I love the 49ers, obviously, but with this team, it's something we haven't seen in quite some time out there in San Francisco, or at least Santa Clara. But with the 49ers...
And I agree, but they can throw...
They have something in the works right now. It's not Super Bowl special, but it's something where get back into respectability.
They can throw the football. I'm nervous about the ground game. The ground game is nothing of, wow, I'm wowed by him. Not really.
Under a Kyle Shanahan offense, not really heavily ground-oriented. It's more so of, hey, what we saw with Matt Ryan, again, let's use your skills and move the ball that way. Again, he's that old West Coast offense kind of style. So.
Well, yeah, if they're going to put up 400 yards passing, great, terrific, but you still have to mix in a run once in a while. Yeah. All right, well, I was looking at my clock. I was like, wow, we've gone really long here today. I want to remind everybody.
Long, we're on time.
Well, no, there's more I wanted to discuss.
It goes from 3 to 5. Time has not changed.
More that I wanted to discuss, but we don't have time for it. Again, I want to thank South Athletic Director Mark Puev, who joined us earlier today on Wyoming Sports.